Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Zeal for Python. Today we will have an introduction to Python. But before that, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Let us start with today's topic, Introduction to Python. What is Python? Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, general-purpose programming language created by Guido van Rossum and first released in 1991. Python provides simple, readable syntax which makes coding easier for programmer. Python comes with large number of built-in functions and supported libraries which helps in reducing development time by reducing the typing work involved. As Python can be used in scripting, it is also considered as a scripting language. Python programs can run on any computer platform unchanged, making it portable. I have here mentioned few operating systems which are supported by Python. Linux and Unix system, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Google Android and Apple iOS, IBM mainframe and many more. Now, where can we use Python? Python can be used in almost all the areas like shell scripting, graphical user interface, internet scripting, database programming, scientific programming, machine learning, and data science, etc. Python is an open source programming language. After we download and install Python, what we get is Python interpreter and standard library. What is Python interpreter? Python interpreter is a package of software program which executes series of instructions passed to it. How Python runs program? In order to run a program, first, we need to write a program in a file and save it with the extension .py. This denotes the file is a Python file. This file is called as source code. As soon as you ask the Python to run the code, the source code is compiled into bytecode. Bytecode is the low-level representation of the code. Each statement in your program is converted into group of bytecode instructions. This bytecode is stored as .pyc file in pycache directory. This is just to avoid clutter. If the source code is imported, both source code and bytecode resides in same directory. If the source code is run for the second time, the Python code will skip the compilation process. But if you have changed the source code, it will again get compiled. Now you must be wondering how Python knows if the file has been modified or not. With every .pyc file, there is a timestamp attached to it, which tells when was the file last modified. The compilation of file also depends on the version of Python first used. This is the case with imported files. If Python cannot write the bytecode on your computer, the code will still run as it will be generated in the memory and will be discarded as soon as the program exits. Bytecode is good as it speeds up the execution process, which is more beneficial for large files. This bytecode is then passed to a Python virtual machine, which is a runtime engine for execution. PVM is the part of Python system. Now, in what ways we can run a Python program? There are two ways for running Python program. The first is interactive prompt and the another one is by using file. As you can see here, this is my idle command prompt. Here, I just have to write the codes like a is equal to 3. Simple writing. Even on your Linux command prompt, you just in your Linux you have to state there Python 3 or Python 3.6, whichever the Python version you're using, and enter. That will open this kind of terminal in which you can write the code. By stating Python on the system console of idle or operating system prompt, one can start Python interpreter. Here, only Python commands can run. Also, on an interactive prompt, code is executed immediately. It is not saved. It remains only till the session lasts. Print command here is not necessary. By using file. Now you might be wondering how to write a program by using a file. See, here in my idle, I have an option called new file. This will allow me to write my code. And I'll have to save this by .pyc. You can use any favorite editor. You can use idle file or you can use Vim, Emac, any of your favorite text editor and store that file using .py and run the module and run the program. In Python, the file in which you write Python programs are nothing but module. We need to specifically run that program, that module we need to run specifically if we are using a file. Programs can be easily saved in desired location. Print command is required. It is necessary to write a print command to show the result. Now let us see what are executable scripts. In Linux, we can convert the Python code file in the executable script by using two steps. The first one is by stating hash bang. Hash bang is nothing but using hash and bang, this symbol. This is the symbol of hash bang. The very first line should start with hash bang and followed by the path of Python executable on your system or a Python interpreter on your system. Second is the privilege. For the file to be executed, user should have an executable permission for it. The command to make file executable on Unix is chmod plus x and script name. Whatever the file name you have, it will give the executable permission. Another way is to give chmod 755. This is the permission to be executable. These are the groups. If you are familiar with Linux, you will know that this denotes the group, user, group, and owner, user, and group, and the script name. Now let us see what is hashbang. What is the use of it? See, when we are using hashbang, in that we have to hard code or we have to provide the path of our Python executable. First way is to hard code the entire path to the Python interpreter. Entire path. Search it. Where is your Python interpreter and hard code the entire path. And another method is to use the environment variable. Using environment path variable, environment program locates the interpreter according to system search path setting. In your system, whatever the path variable is set as, it will look there and it will execute your Python. Now, if you must have noticed that even in Windows, hashbang is used nowadays. This was earlier till 2.7. It was necessary to use hashbang in Python Linux systems only. But nowadays it's common that we are using hashbang in Windows also. This is because in Windows hashbangs is passed to know the version of Python and launch it. whatever the version you're providing, it will pass it and it will launch it. This is important in Python 3 and above. Now these are the IDEs for Python. You can work on these various development IDEs like PyCharm, PyDev, which is for Eclipse, Vim, Emac, Tony, Atom, Jupyter, Visual Studio, Sublime Text 3, Wing, ActivePython. These are the few top IDEs which can be used for Python. Now, Python has been implemented for various languages. For C, it is a standard implementation of Python, that is the C Python. This is for C language. J Python is for Java. Jython is for Java. Iron Python is for .NET. Stackless for concurrency, and PyPy. This is for the speed performance. Mainly focuses on performance. It is the extension to C Python itself, but for good performance. The link for installation and download of Python for both Linux and Windows are provided in the description box. Please visit those links also. Thank you. I hope you all liked our video. Please like and share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.